Welcome to the Out on Loan podcast. As always, I'm your host, Jeffrey Canola, joined by my lovely co host from the Big Three, my good friend here in the Isaac Housen. Isaac, match day 2 of our usual World Cup recap. Can't wait. I just got back from NYC just to spend time with the family, do a little bit of side work with the Management Madrid podcast. It was a great time being down there, but it's now getting back to work time as World Cup match day 1 is coming to a close today. Interesting matchups. But before I get started, as always, much love to Robin Stone Pictures. And to Noah Randall too will be helping us out as we create World Cup content with graphics and stuff like that. We'll have a few assignments for him to go as we give out our predictions and stuff like that. But match day 2, man, match day 1. Interesting matchups since the last time we talked. Obviously, we had the Brazil games, we had Netherlands versus Japan, just naming a few off the top. We had the Germany 7-1 over Curacao, which is just, it shouldn't have been surprised just based on the level towns between those two. Got to give a special shout out to Kieran, called that prediction correctly. Did say in the group chat 7-1 question mark after I think it was like 3-1 or 4-1. So
Mhm.
Kieran Keneally, shout out to you as always, my brother. Then we had obviously the big boys playing, which was yesterday with France and Argentina playing in their respective groups. Obviously, France beating Senegal 3-1 to start off their World Cup campaign. Double by Mbappe. Norway as well. Awesome 4-1 win over, I believe it was, who did they
Iraq.
beat in their group? Iraq. A double by Erling Haaland, starting off his World Cup campaign and debut as well at Gillette Stadium. I like how they in the state they're calling it the Boston Stadium. We also then had Argentina later that night cap off the night with I know Austria and Jordan played, but I think that wasn't the main event. I would say of the night it was probably that Argentina game versus Algeria. Messi hat trick, just undescribable. I mean, where were you when you saw like just overall quick thoughts on that game? Like
I
I
was
just
sitting on
couldn't
the
believe what I was
couch.
watching.
I was sitting on the couch wondering how Zidane is a professional goalkeeper. If I'm going to be quite frankly, I think like
Yeah,
two of those goals. Not that it didn't take a lot of messy moments of brilliance, and I'm not coming on here to be like, oh, it's like hot take. He's nothing like that. He's undoubtedly, I think, the best player in the world. Um, I just thought like a couple of those opportunities were a little weak on Zidane's end. I saw someone say Zidane has to have the worst sperm out there because how do you produce three kids and none of them can ball? Just like I don't know, I don't know how to react after hearing that. I think seeing that him get slandered on the timeline was a little.
yeah.
But I mean, hey, what I think slots himself. I'm not. Is he now tied, or did that last goal put him ahead of Closa
He
for the
did
all-time
just
World Cup
tie.
win?
Yeah, I did forget. Like there were so many records broken last night. It's not
Mhm.
even funny how many were broken. I know Mbappe when he scored his double. He I think was like 3 away from Close's record. So I think he's like 3 or 4 away because he has like 14 in the World Cup. But I think he became France's all time in the World Cup, or he equaled it with Giroud or something like that. But I mean, we you kind of what's crazy about Mbappe's career is like he started off so young. He came onto the stage and just produced and statistically from the start, and he still is. Still only 27, so he has like I think at least a minimum of 5 years left in this game at the highest level based on the way he plays, and he already has broken so many stats for an iconic nation like that with already a World Cup trophy to him and a potential second one if it goes well for him in this tournament. So he's been absolutely a standout. And then for Messi, I think he did tie again. Messi, I mean, I think he became the oldest to score a hat trick in the World Cup. 38 years old, about to be 39. Almost, we'll say it's almost 40. I mean, why not? I mean, almost 40-year-old Messi scoring fucking hat tricks at the opening game of a World Cup against not a tough, against a really, no, I wouldn't say the best of the best, but like a decent Algeria side with a few
Mhm.
players here and there.
The
And then
World
I
Cup
think
side
he
done
did,
best.
and I think he did tie the all-time World Cup record as well for most goals, and he probably is going to
Yes,
break it.
he's tied on 16 now with Closa. Mbappe's technically tied with Goodmurla for fourth with or for third, however it breaks down with
Yeah,
14. And then Kane today, I believe he's now sitting at 10, and he's only one off
right.
from I think slotting into that top 10 for sure. I mean, he's only 3 or 4 off in the rest of this tournament from sitting at like fifth or sixth all time as well.
Yeah, so it's just been record-breaking days these last few hours. I would say not even 24, just the last few hours with Mbappe, obviously Messi, and now Kane as well. I know Kane, England won today 4-2. I sent Colby Gaines because usually he trolls on me with picking on my players. Like he just likes to troll me with Jude. Like he thinks Jude is like this bad player. But hey, we were united tonight. I sent him the Crips and Bloods unity sign. You know that one meme. I just sent him that. You know, we're Team Kane and Team Jude for today. I think I would mention that with you as well. Like us Madrid fans, us Bayern fans are going to be rooting for our boys out there. Even some
I'm rooting for
Barca
Kane.
fans for Anthony Gordon and
I don't know if I'm
United
rooting for
too.
England.
What'd you say?
I don't know if I'm rooting for Kane. I don't know if I'm rooting for England. I'll be honest there. I'll get that. I'll
No,
get
no,
that
no.
out.
No. I'm saying for them to succeed, to see our boys succeed, they are the key players. Like
Yeah.
I said, and we saw it today. I mean, you saw Kane just goal. I mean, the goal scoring machine that Kane is. I mean, what can we say about Kane? I mean, the penalty, um, composure to take that second one after missing the first one, and there's just a lot of storylines. I did want to mention about this last match day, right? These last few that we've seen. I mentioned it to the group chat in our group chat on the Out Alone podcast, right? I did say it might be glazing for a bit, but isn't it crazy that today we're gonna see like Mbappe in the World Cup stage since the hat trick, which feels ages ago, which is crazy to say because it's like 2022
Mhm.
or whatever it was. Um, we haven't seen him since then, and then I forgot that we haven't seen Messi too
Mhm.
since the World Cup final where he won that. And obviously they come in and shine. You see Mbappe get the two beautiful goals. Great finish. Like Elise says, well, like look, we're together in this. You and me, Isaac. We're rooting for your Bayern boys to help us out. I'm rooting for
Mhm.
my Madrid boys. Like I'm rooting for Mbappe
Mhm.
to do well. I'm rooting for Elise as well. Kane
Mhm.
and Jude. Like there's a lot of unity between us Madrid and Bayern fans for our star players if we want to see them succeed for their individual careers. There's a lot of great things that will come out if Elise and Mbappe come in. That solidifies Elise as potentially winning a Ballon d'Or. Mbappe as like just one of the top 5 greatest players of all time, and he comes in with the demand next to Madrid. Then for Kane, I mean, puts himself as arguably the greatest striker of all time if he gets his World Cup, led England to their first World Cup trophy since I don't know, God, the dinosaur ages, with a Ballon d'Or to that as well. And then Jude would solidify himself as I think as the certified best midfielder in the world, arguably as well in there. So it's stuff like that where we're in unity. But no, the storylines are just crazy. And Mbappe hat trick, saw him today, saw him yesterday, double at MetLife Stadium, a potential maybe we see France in the finals, and then Argentina later that night. Messi opening hat trick, breaking records, still proving itself why in these type of tournaments he's still the best player in the world because it's just 7 games that he just has to give it their all. And
Mhm.
then later today we saw England. What's funny was I saw the penalty and I just automatically remember like Kane for Bayern scoring all these penalties, but for some reason, well, I mean not for some reason, but it makes sense. We just all go back to that France game in the quarterfinals where he missed that one penalty, and when he missed, I was like, oh my god, they got to switch the penalty kick takers potentially. They have to, right?
Mhm.
But no, he came in, slaughtered the next one because it was recalled, and it's just crazy that we see some of these storylines. We coming back from 2022, like damn, we haven't seen Kane take a penalty since he last missed Mbappe and all these type of things. But any more thoughts? We'll start off with England. I mean, that's the recent result that we're on today. Any thoughts
Mhm.
on England? I mean, it was against a tough Croatia team, not the Croatian team of the past. We see that they're physically just not the same. They don't have the names that they had back in 2018, I would say, where you had a prime Perisic, a prime Modric, a Rakitic, who was a great, I would say, second fiddle to like a Modric in the midfield and Mandzukic behind him as well. And then you had other star players in there, in Vida and all these type of things. And then even back in 2022, we had some young players in there in the midfield with Kovacic entering his prime, Gavardio making his name. But England came out, got a really good 4-2 result, very positive, I would say. But any thoughts from that performance?
Yeah, I think it kind of confirmed a lot of the things we sort of thought about this England team, like where you were at with them on the barometer. I think the attack, you obviously, if you had any worries for whatever reason going into this World Cup, I think they put a lot of those to bed in that first game. I think even just being able to have all those substitutions that they can mix in. I mean, they bring in Saka off the bench, they can bring in Rashford off the bench, they can bring in a Morgan Rogers off the bench, and I think it's one maybe like that, like prem fatigue has kind of helped some people, or maybe just league fatigue in general, not being able to watch these guys week in, week out. I think there's a little bit of we've almost forgotten how dynamic that attack can actually be for England. Because like you joke, you talk about that the comparisons between those old Croatian teams of the past. I mean, if you look at them now, though, I think the one area where you're not worried about on that Croatian team is their defense. I mean, you have Guardiola in there. Is it? I'm always butcher the guy's name. Is it Vukosevic, Vuskovic? The former Tottenham player. I mean, you have he's going to be a darling. He's probably going to make a 30, 40, $20 million transfer this window. You have Stanisic back there as well. You have a lot more known names back in defense. So I think if there's anywhere you're going to point to in that Croatian team outside of like a 40-year-old 40-year-old moderates, it was going to be their defense. And I mean, England put up 4 on them. I think the 2 goals, though, is wording. I think you saw some of the mistakes in defense. I think they started Konsa for this game. I don't know everything, all the situation behind it. Maybe he wasn't fully fit or whatnot. Like, I just think there's like got to be a situation where Gahey and some other players got to be in there. Maybe I'm just from the outside looking in. That didn't look like it was the strongest defense they could have possibly thrown out there. So I think that does leave you some real worries because, like you mentioned, this Croatia team is not the same one going off that they had in attack. I mean, the Modric has only played like 60 minutes today. It's clear that he's not obviously at the level. He cannot perform at the same level for that extended period of time. Like, and I mean, even that second goal, well, it was a great goal by I believe it was the winger for Croatia. It kind of comes from Reece James sort of losing his man and sort of him going unmarked in the box, obviously, after that deflection.
From that first goal too, he was the one losing his man, and then I think he was also the one that I know a lot of people were criticizing Jude for that second goal, or the first. I think it was the second goal. Reece James was the one that also just gave a sloppy pass and put him in an uncomfortable spot where, like, it just resulted in the goal. So yeah, I agree with you. I think there was sloppy moments from their defense and stuff like that. And again, I think what I underlooked with this England team was a lot of people criticize them for this and they downplay them on this aspect. But I think it's on their strengths, which is why I complimented the U.S. when they had the result. Can't wait for this Friday to see them back. I'm like, I can't wait. I'm actually saying, like, I'm really excited to see the U.S. play against Australia. It was their physicality. I know there was a lot of moments where, like, you just felt like England were slow and all these type of things in build up, but I think in a lot of times what benefits this England team, but what also gets them so criticized, is their physicality. Oh, they're just road runners. Oh, they just run. That's how they can dominate and completely control a game. They'll just win the ball back so easily, just press you, just win the ball and then take you far into the next stage. And compared to other teams that you see who are physically dominant, they have the attackers to pull this through. I mean, you have Kane, arguably the best striker in the world right now. You have a player like Jude Bellingham who, God, I don't even know. I'll go on. I'll go on to him for a little segment real quick. But you have Saka, you have Gordon, you have Rashford. So it's like it helps them in a way with how physical they are because they can just easily counter press, win the ball back in the midfield, and just run at you. So that's why I underlooked this team on the fact that I looked at that midfield and I said, man, dude, Elliot Anderson, Declan Rice, and Jude Bellingham, like, dude, you are going to win that ball back so easily if you get this tactically right, especially with Tuchel. And even if you need one more player, guess what? I don't know if he played today or not because I didn't catch the last 20 minutes. Kobe Mainoo is still in there. So if you have a player that can, easily just control games or just beat you through his technicality and still be a physical monster, I think Kobe Mainoo's that answer too. So yeah, but I agree with you. The defense is worrying.
I think that's the question too. Is just like it's always going to be a matter for a lot of these top teams in a World Cup. Is like, okay, well, how are they going to look then against those top opponents? I mean, England looked good. I forgot who they have. It's Uzbekistan and Colombia. Is that the rest of their group, or is it
No, that's the Portugal team.
Ghana, Panama.
They have Ghana and Panama. So they got
like,
Kane 4 goals against Panama. Is like,
I mean, Semenyo's gonna and for Ghana, like, not that it's just Semenyo, like, Ghana's gonna be a tough game. Panama is gonna be fun, especially I think they'll have a little bit of like the home fans. Not that England's gonna drown that out. I mean, England fans showed up in full today if you were watching that game. But like, yeah, it's gonna be rest a lot in their midfield because how are they gonna look against a team like I don't know where they are and where the bracket's gonna fall. I'd assume, like you said, we talk about it with them getting first. Like when you play a France, when you play a Spain, if you play a Portugal, if you play like these other teams where they have either a midfield that can match or an offensive and a defense that can either shut that down or provide the same amount of goals. That, like, I mean, again, that attack for England is so important on top of that midfield. When you're playing in France, you're probably on par, if not a little step behind on attack. You know what I mean? If you're playing a Portugal, granted, I think I maybe stop saying them. I think we should be maybe a lot more worried about them. If there's any team to be worried about, the first team we'll get into them. It's that Portugal side. So maybe they're the poor example. I think maybe like a Spain or something that would be better because I think Spain's is more of a matter of, which I'm sure we'll get into, is once Yamin comes back and once more of that offense is able to flow like it should be, I think they're fine. Right. I'm not really worried about Spain. But yeah, and it's just like, how do they show up on that day and how are they going to look? I mean, you mentioned them, Rice, Bellingham, and Anderson. That's arguably the best midfield in the tournament outside of maybe Spain or Portugal, or you know what I mean? So like, I have no doubt that they're going to be able to do exactly what you said. It's just how they're going to look. And then also I'm interested about, because I think the way that the bracket falls is there's a chance that they play Mexico. I think within either in their second, maybe third or first knockout round. That's a big one because obviously on paper, you're going to be better than them. Your midfield is going to be able to dominate. I think it's probably going to be a lot of counterattacking from Mexico in that game. That game's probably going to be in Mexico, though. I would assume. Like that's going to be
And
one
we
where
know
like,
they're gonna
okay,
give it their all for that matchup.
can we see that environment? Can we see that in there? I have no
Yeah.
doubt, especially off of past runs with this team and Tuchel's ability to manage teams and tournament runs, to not be able to take them into a hostile space and get a result. Like I'm not saying that this is like, ooh, calling some shocker upset. That'll be another notch though for this England team. Okay, cool. You got out of a group. You're gonna probably get through Ghana. You probably get through Panama. Now let's see how you look against a good Mexico squad on their home turf, and then you're getting into some more serious teams. And yeah, it's a very serious England team.
Yeah. No, definitely. I completely agree, man. We'll have to wait and see. We don't want to overreact, but I think it's a really good positive signs from what you've seen and what they can do and the players that they brought in. I think with the Mark Gahey not bringing, I think Mark Gahey just has been so poor this year. Where it's just like you probably just want to go with Consa in that sense. But still, this is where I would have loved to have seen the Maguire potentially in there. And yeah, like there's stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just stuff like that there. I'm like, we'll have to wait and see. But good signs from England. But the other big team today, we'll get onto them. Oh, I'll go on Jude Bellingham real quick. I forgot. I gotta go with my boy. That's my guy, man. Like I love
I'll
Jude
just mute
Bellingham.
here so
You
you
know?
can go. You can spread the
No,
propaganda.
like I don't. I'm so sick of these people, man, disrespecting my guy, bro. It's disgusting what people say about him. People don't know what type of player he is. People bring up like Vitinha and like I'll give you Pedri. I fine. You can put him in those conversations. I'll give you Bruno. That's fine. But I'm hearing Vitinhas. I'm hearing Declan Rices. I'm hearing give me other names, bro. Like
I don't know.
look,
You mentioned Elliot
I
Anderson.
respect
Get through all the other British
Pavlovic.
people.
I respect Pavlovic.
Thank you.
Musiala doesn't count because he's been out for like a year or two. So like we just have to wait until he gets back.
And he has. I mean, I'll be honest. Like I'm taking Bellingham over Musiala. Like the Musiala we've seen since the injuries come
Right,
back.
we'll,
Like
we'll
I
wait
think
for
you have
him.
to take that. And like
Right, we'll
Pavlovic, you
wait for
mentioned
him.
because you
Like, give
mentioned
me
my
other
boys.
fucking names, bro. I'm hearing Anderson's better. I'm hearing Declan Rice is more impactful.
Enzo,
I hear
Caicedo,
Enzo's a
probably was a
better
Chelsea guy.
Caicedo. I'm hearing all these fucking names. I'm so sick of you people, bro. Fuck all of you. What drugs do you people
Szoboszlai. I
take?
hope no one was throwing him in there. I'm just trying to think
Oh,
of
but
other
I
midfielders
guarantee
that
you,
they're even
some
throwing on
Liverpool
this.
fans are putting some
Scott
stupid names
McTominay.
in there. People don't understand what Jude Bellingham does. Jude Bellingham is a fucking Giannis Antetokounmpo type of player on the field. He can literally score fucking goals like a striker, or he's gonna defend his ass off like a fucking Sergio Ramos. Did you see that game today? What he did? Do you see what he does? People need to understand the impact that Jude Bellingham brings to a lot of fucking teams. He's been playing out of position at Madrid for a lot of times and going through injuries, but no one can ever doubt his personality, his persistence to want to win, and his talent as a just all around fucking footballer. People tell me he's not elite at anything. He's one of the best finishers out there. He's one of the best tacklers in fucking football. Like literally, he can defend. He can probably tackle better than some fucking center backs. People told me England don't need him. England should have brought players that don't ever turn up for the team, like fucking Cole Palmer or the other name. Oh, Foden, that guy. Jude Bellingham in like the 2 or 3 big tournaments that he's done has outdone anything that those dudes have done for this national team. Today is another perfect example. A great goal again. Stop disrespecting this guy. If England want to go far, it will not only just be because of Kane and Saka. He's the other reason, and arguably he's the second one. Arguably he's number one too. Arguably he's the most not important, but the most important player, not the most valuable player. Valuable player is fucking Kane, without
I'd
question.
flip those. I think he's the most valuable. I'd say so because of how they've taken this Kane like dropping down, playing a lot more central, and like
Exactly.
I think Kane is more important for this team because I think he's a lot more of the like driver of like what they do. But I think in terms of valuable, in terms of what he offers on the pitch, I think it's to your point. I think then it is Bellingham because of like you said, his ability to do any sort of role there.
Please just watch these games. One of the best tweets that I have to repost, man. I might have to post it on my stories. Is there's a lot of players that can control a game, and maybe that's against Jude Bellingham's talents and stuff. Maybe he isn't like this elite midfielder that we like to think. You know why? Because he's this elite player that decides fucking games. I swear that is one of the best quotes I've ever heard about Jude Bellingham. That is the quote right there that defines what Jude Bellingham is. He doesn't need to be this controller that can move the ball around like fucking Vitinha. I heard people telling me Vitinha is more important than fucking Jude Bellingham. You people, I hope today is a perfect example. Vitinha can control whatever the fuck he wants, but Jude Bellingham will score goals like that and decide a game and tackle and win the ball back and drive the ball forward. Yes, he's not fucking perfect. I understand that, but he will do things that other your favorite players can't do, which is decide games. He's a decider, and in my opinion, that's the biggest thing you can have in football. which is why he was in the Ballon d'Or race back in 23, 24, because he was one of the deciders to win us a league title. I mean, game winners against Barca. The overhead kick versus Slovakia back in 24. The goals that he was scoring in that 22 World Cup. The games like today where he just wins you a game. He scored that goal. He was winning and tracking back and making the runs perfect for fucking Kane to do what he likes to do. Those two are the key to England winning this World Cup. Without those two, England are not going to go that far. Just letting you right there.
It's
But that's
kind of
it for
like
me.
that. It's kind of like that Jalen Brunson. Like it's, what is it? Everyone's better than Jalen Brunson until it's time to be better than Jalen Brunson. It kind of seems like that almost with a little bit with him. I can't more about the individual games. Like obviously, he just lost to Bayern, so you could use that energy. Like what about Kimmich? I'm just using that as like the person out there that's trying to counter. But like Bellingham is that type where it seems like when it comes down to when there are those matchups, Bellingham's the one walking away with that important moment, or just again another 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 performance. Again, I'm sure not every time football you win some, you lose some, but for the most part, it seems like when it comes down to it, he seems to get the notch.
And I think what people still forget to understand, the guy is still he's just about to turn. I think he's still 22, and he's about to turn 23, like in a month. Like he has 2 or 3 more years before he should be in his prime years. Like, and he's still doing things that a lot of players have never done. So that's it for me on Bellingham, or else I'm gonna go in another hour. I want to talk about Portugal, who I did kind of shadow. Roberto Martinez, please, for fuck's sake, bro, just retire for international football, bro. I don't understand.
They love him with the U.S. after Poch left, and I almost lost it.
No, don't bring him to this national team. Don't even bring him to the USA. Pay Poch. I'm being serious. I don't understand how. And look, this is not me being the Ronaldo fanboy that I am, because I love Ronaldo. Ronaldo's a fucking icon, bro. He's been the best player that I've seen at my fucking club. I'll defend him. But I'm unbiased. I know Messi's the GOAT, and he proved that. Like, not even this last night, bro. He proved that in 2022, 2018, whatever you want to, 2019, whatever you want to give it to me. But I just don't understand how you have all these fucking midfielders, all these great midfielders, and this is what you give me? This is the product that you give me? Slow, lethargic, pathetic fucking football? Shameful, bro. Shameful how Portugal played today. And look, I will give criticism to Ronaldo too. He did look bad. He looks like an old man. Like that. You see those 2 missed chances? You saw those? I can deeply analyze how lengthy he looks in those games because of the way he positioned. You saw he positioned himself to take those shots? Nah, bro. I'm not saying Ronaldo needs to get dropped. That's not what I'm saying. But man, Portugal need to get a new striker anytime soon, bro, because whoever they got up there with Gonzalo Ramos, I don't even think would be in those positions, or probably skies it. Can't header, can't do anything. I don't know. Portugal just.
Well, then, who are you relying on? Like, if it's not Gonzalo Ramos, it's what? Gonzalo Guedes, João Felix? You're telling me you're telling me your Ronaldo replacement is João Felix right now? Like, that's
that's who you want? Like, and I'm not even saying just on names. Yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on Portugal, real quick?
I don't know. I just thought, uninspiring. Like, I think that is sort of the way I kind of took that result. Again, full credit to DR Congo. Not only I think are they a country that deserves a lot more respect for how they played, like they have a quality side. They have a lot of guys with prem experience. So I will give Portugal the benefit of the doubt that this isn't some random nobody nation ranked number 80 something in the world. Oh my God, shocking! Like I can't believe this happened in that aspect. But yeah, it's bad. I was just gonna say I think a lot of it is I don't think you can't drop Ronaldo. You can't drop Ronaldo. I'm not even suggesting that. But man, he looks the way he played today. You would suggest that he would be dropped if he wasn't Cristiano Ronaldo. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? If this was another 37-year-old striker that a country was relying on that type of performance, you're walking away from that man, you got to retire, man. This is I don't know what. Near 40-year-old Arsenal.
I'm not trying to hate because you know me, bro. I love him, bro. It
sounds like you're hating too. It's when you're talking about it in this sense, it sounds like you're a hater. But you can't watch that Messi performance as much as I like to make fun of him. You can see just the way Messi's moving in the spots he's positioned himself in, the runs that he's making, the off the ball movements. It's still so much there, and it almost feels like for him, he doesn't need to be the focal point as much as he is the focal point. Ronaldo is still because you're that lone striker. You have Neto, you have Fernandes, you have all Neves, you have Vitinho, you have all these guys. But such the focus is you have guys. You have 7 to 8 to maybe 10 people in the squad that are so good at getting guys the ball that you just need that person that can finish it. And for years, that's been Ronaldo. And again, it could be the overreaction after one game, but man, This looks like the guy that hasn't scored a single knockout game for Portugal in a World Cup history.
Yeah,
This looks
and I
like the
just
guy that hasn't been able to perform for his country. And I don't think that's what we want. And you came in today off of the Holland performance in his first ever, off the Mbappe performance coming off of a World Cup loss, Messi reaching near 40, grabbing a hat trick. Like you have such a high, even Kane performing later. Granted, that was obviously later in the day. Like you're almost coming expecting like 41 Ronaldo. Like doesn't matter. And we know how he's been scoring in South. Like one,
right.
can I also say that this also speaks to the stupid like ESPN FC and all the propaganda for Ronaldo, how that also now hurts him. Because you want to talk about all these goals you're scoring in the Saudi league, all the performance, all these records he's still keeping up with, all these things he's still producing. Man, the first time we've really been able to see him in like real football, outside of people that are watching the Saudi league, like he hasn't looked good. It's rough, let alone from the rest of the squad. Like, was it like Viega or was it whoever was playing center back, Viega? I don't know what he was doing. I think he was really at fault for a lot of stuff, especially in that early first half. Like,
bro, Diego was disgusting today.
I mean,
But look, here's my three people that I. Number one is Roberto Martinez, and that kind of plays into my second at fault here, which is like the other players. I mean, those first 5 minutes before they scored their goal, it was just they played quick, they played aggressive, they looked like they wanted to do something, and it gets me the ick, as people like to say nowadays, when that shit slows down and they play so slow, they play so comfortable, they just here. Please move the ball faster. You're playing against a team that is sitting in a low block that are gonna set up defensively. You're 1-1. You're 1-1. You're the favorites to win this fucking group. Please, Bruno, Vitinha, Neves, Conceição, Viega, Araujo, Nuno Mendes, fucking Pedro Neto, Ronaldo, please move the fucking ball. Move it. Can you play quicker? It gives me the biggest fucking ick when these players are 1-1 and they just want to be little No, play it quicker. And that I blame on Roberto Martinez, his stupid lineup with Bernardo Silva, who's another one that I know we signed him and I won't go too hard on him because I know his limitations as a winger. But he's not a winger anymore, bro. He doesn't have the explosiveness. He can't start. Look at how many chances that Conceição came in and fucking brought. Leao too. What the hell was that, man? I try to defend you, bro, but what is that? What is this passive shit that you're doing? Take a man on. Take him. Beat him. You're one of the top wingers in terms of talent. You're about to be 27, bro. What are you doing? Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the leg was defending for his life against you, and you couldn't take him on? You had situations where it was 1v1. Bully them. Take them. You're still young enough. You have that pace. Why is Ronaldo having to do all this shit where he has to carry this fucking team? Because I know he was bad too. That's my other criticism, because you saw how washed he is. But damn it, other people, fucking turn up. That's my only thing. That's what I have to say about Portugal, man. Roberto Martinez, stupid subs. His lineup decisions, just God, and then Ronaldo. I don't know, man. Ronaldo just needs to figure things out because those two shots that he missed, man. I'm just like, and even then, I will also say this too for Ronaldo's performance. I thought his IQ today was disgusting. I did not like his runs. I did not like his positioning. I did not like the way he was trying to win the ball back. I didn't like the zones that he was picking the ball up, and again, this is where I guess Portugal are affected. I mean, it's a player that I don't know what else he can bring to the team. If he can't header, he can't score, what does he do? Because he's not going to be pressing like a maniac. Obviously not. But then he's not going to be dropping deep and just giving something out because he can't do that. He just can't. His legs are shot. He looks like a swimmer out there. Like, seriously. I don't know. Final thoughts. Give it a minute. Final thoughts on Portugal before we move on to like probably the other team that I really want to go off on.
I think I just got to see you next game. Let me see how you look next game because I think that some of that midfield looked really good. I mean, you saw John Neves. Like, there's a lot in that team that can lead to them to a lot of great success. I don't want to overreact over one game. I think it's just like, okay, Portugal's now eyes are on you. These next two games are going to determine a lot for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think that's my point too. It's like we know how good you are. Just play fucking faster. Just please do it. And then Ronaldo, just find your boots, bro. Like if you have to loosen up, please loosen up. Get massaged around the knees. Do some flicks, hip mobility. I don't know. Stretch like a maniac tonight. Massage. Inject yourself if you need to. Figure something out with those knees, bros. Because of those 40-year-old knees, you miss those. I can literally analyze how stiff he looked when he was trying to. You saw those shots, bro. Like Like, please figure it out, bro. Figure it out and make your runs better. My criticism with him was on the runs too. Um, I don't know, but that's it for Portugal. They have a lot of things, but good thing for them, they have Uzbekistan next, which we'll see tonight against Colombia. But again, it's Uzbekistan, so I don't want to overreact too much if they do really well. It's not a powerhouse. But then we'll see them against Colombia. So shout out to Sam. Potentially, he did call out and did say that you know Colombia was going to top this group, so maybe he was cooking onto something. But yeah, Germany 7-1. Quick thoughts on Germany too. I thought they looked impressive.
Yeah, I think it's just like it's handling the business that they needed to. I think for that first half they like didn't look good. I thought I mean they're going in. I think they go into that first half 1-1 if I'm not mistaken, or at least it's 1-1 through a lot of that first half. To where you're like, oh my god, it's going to happen again. Like they're going to get grouped somehow. I think those worrisome thoughts creep into your head, and like I think it was just a matter of kind of like you said with doing what you wanted to see with Portugal, which is kind of just like easing their ways back into their game and really playing the way that they wanted to in that second half, and then just going out and dominating in that second half and doing what they're supposed to. It's not the most that like in terms of like I can take away from it with it being a 7-1 result, because you do kind of have that always with these teams. Show up, take care of business. You did what you needed to do. I think it just cements them as not. I won't say underrated, because I think people have talked about them properly. So I don't think anyone is realistically throwing them in like a semifinals or anything like that. And I don't think anyone is expecting them to like, get grouped and all that sort of stuff based off the talent. But this is a side that can still do a lot of damage for me. I think they can. It wouldn't shock me if they're in a semifinals run, as much as I don't think that will happen. Like they just have the quality to do that, and I think they're reminded by that. And I think we joke a lot about Havertz, and one I will say I don't know how Sané is still starting this for this national team. I mean, maybe the Carl injury had some effect for that. I don't know if they were going to start an 18-year-old and have him be the starting winger for this World Cup if he didn't have that injury. So who knows? But seeing Sané on this pitch, it also makes me really glad we replaced him. Like, no offense, having to watch Sané and then like not obviously for France anymore, but like having to even see clips from like Coman in the past year. I'm like, oh my god, upgrading from Diaz and Elise or to a Diaz and Elise has been a lifesaver. Yeah, I
Especially
think
Elise. Jesus Christ, what a player! Oh my god. We'll get into France too real quick.
But like, yeah, I
My
don't know.
God.
Again, I think Germany. I
Yeah.
need to see them against these other top teams. Like, let
Yeah.
me play the top teams in your group. Let me see these 3 games and Norris, whatever. Like, I think
Yeah.
there's so much about this team already. It's like how are they going to show again? How are they going to show up on a given day?
Yeah. No, definitely. And I think I'll add on to Germany too. I saw one of the best things. If you're a bad team going up against Germany or Bayern, just pray for yourselves, man, because you're so cooked. They're not going to give you any mercy. And
No.
I still got to give credits to Kieran. I mean, I knew Germany were going to win. I had a feeling maybe like a comfortable like 4-3. I was not expecting the 7-1, and Kieran was just like, "Hey, another 7-1." Just some funny tweets. Like, of course it was a 7-1, dude. Like, of course, out of all like what could have happened, it was another 7-1. And
I
you
think
knew you can see after the fifth one, they're like, "Dude, we're gonna go for the seventh, bro." So
well,
fuck
if you're
y'all, bro.
Brazil, you're happy though, right? Because like you can no longer you can Google Germany 7-1 and it doesn't default to Brazil every time. It can I mean at least a
Fair
little better
enough.
for them.
I guess it is, man. But no, I think from our memories, we'll never get that shit out of our head, bro. Never. Spain had an interesting draw. We move on to Spain. Had a I think we kind of briefly touched. We'll go quickly on Spain. I'll go on then real quick. Yeah, unfortunate 0-0 draw, but I'm not overreacting to them because, again, compared to past teams, there's not that many question marks surrounding them in terms of like experience and the world class players that they have with Pedri, Lamine, and all these stuff. Um, and then we're just waiting for Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal to get back into the lineup, and
Mm-hmm.
that was probably something that really affected them. Because again, shout out, and we have to give credit as well to these teams that the underdogs, like your Ivory Coast were underdogs against in Ecuador. Shout out to Carter Raymond. Hopefully, we get to get him on the show with some Ivory Coast recap. I'm trying to recruit him onto the show.
Lovely.
Um, but yeah, like some of these teams have just been defending really well with the talent that they have. They've been playing really solid, and Cape Verde was just another one where historic. I mean, to get 0-0 against Spain, to hold the lead, and Lamine wasn't playing last 10, 5. No, he was playing like a good chunk of the 30 minutes or the 45 of the second half that he came on. So you got to give credits to them. But I think Spain, it was unfortunate, very lackluster, lacking of ideas type of performance. But again, this shows why they had to transition away from just, oh, we need to play possession football. We need to have like so many midfielders circling the ball. Like, no, you need some players nowadays, and especially in this time and in this era where it's a winger that can break you down so easily which is what Nico Williams can do. I mean, Lamine had like 2 to 3 chances that he created off the ease just like that because he just brings so much attention with his pace, his physicality, his creativity, his one-on-one ability where it's like risky type of football, but like it's better than just staying conservative and just lackluster. So I don't know. We'll see them in the next game. The good thing, well, they have a tough matchup against Saudi Arabia, so that'll be tough for them. And then they obviously close off against Uruguay, which is not an easy opponent as well. But I still favor them in their group to get easily out the way. And
Ferran Torres, biggest terrorist performance of the World Cup so far. That was bad. Him and Oyarzabal were Oyarzabal looked invisible. I don't know if I even really remember hearing his name called in that game.
That's the impact. Yeah. Well, that's the impact when you don't play with Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams on Spain. That's the impact. I always say this. And then for Real Sociedad, I mean, he's always carried by his other wingers as well. Like some of these Spanish players, I just don't rate at all. Like Mikel Oyarzabal, I have some respect for him, but he's not this player that people try to put me in. They try to put him in, and then Ferran, we know, just.
I told you Simon would be starting, though. I told you Simon would be starting that.
Hey, I'll give you credits. I give you credits for that. Give you credits. Props to yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. I'm looking at the other teams right now as well. Obviously Ivory Coast, impressive win. Shout out to the African team, man. That's been one of the biggest conversations as well. Shout out to them. They've been absolutely lights out this World Cup. Netherlands 2-2 versus Japan. I unfortunately did not watch that game because I was working with the Manager Madrid account, but I will say that was a great lineup. Shout out to Sean and left a comment here. The GOAT, 3 GOAT. Shout out to Sean Wallace. As always, much love to you, brother. But it was a great matchup. I mean, Japan, 2-2. And yeah, just good game that I saw from the recaps and stuff like that. Then we'll go on to Belgium and Egypt. 1-1 draw right there for that group, and some interesting matchups as well. I guess we'll close it off a little bit with Argentina. I mean, I did say they are one of the favorites because they kept their main core.
They kept I think they were the most retained roster. I think they have the most players from the previous World Cup on their current roster, I think, in the entire tournament.
Yeah, I think them and Spain, I would say, if I'm not mistaken, too. I mean, they have Nico and well, that's more of the Euros actually. That's more of their Euro campaign. But no, I completely agree with you, man. Yeah, most of their team is there. Scaloni has been absolutely amazing, just rejuvenating that team into just what it is since he took charge in 2019. I know they went to 2019. 2018, 2019. I mean, they went to the Copa America semifinal and lost to that Brazil team back in 2019. But since then, just dominant, man. And if they get a second World Cup, oh my God, I don't know where that puts Argentina, man. The 4th World Cup trophy, 4 international, that beats out Spain's. Automatically beats out Spain's.
They're tied with Germany, I think, then, right?
And tied with Germany, yeah, absolutely. Well, no, I'm saying like consecutive. No, I'm talking about consecutive like trophies, like because remember Spain's dominance back in the 2000 or like early to late 2000s.
Do you also like the irony of if they win it, that them and Germany would be tied on the same amount of World Cups? It's a little funny, don't you think?
Yeah, that would be.
For any history fans out there, obviously they should understand that one. I'll just leave it at that.
Any Argentinian German fans out there, with a bit of German and Argentinian descent, man.
Let me ask you what your great grandfather was doing.
Yeah, but no, I mean Argentina, man. Any thoughts on Argentina, real quick?
Yeah, I mean, I think they look like a veteran team. I think they handled the storm of that opening game. I think there's obviously those eyes on you. Obviously, are even. I mean, it's easy to say. Obviously, the eyes are on you from that Saudi Arabia game. Even last year, obviously losing that game by a shocker and then going on to win the whole thing. Jokingly, my dad was. I think we were rushing that. We were talking about some stuff. We're like, oh, you should like lose the game like that. And if you won the last time, losing the first game, you should lose your first game. I would say I don't think they were going to do that. Yeah. Again, I introed the show talking about how I thought some of those Messi goals should have been saved, and I think that obviously is more on Zidane. It's something I'm like, oh, Messi or Pestier. I'm not going to throw any of those out because he did what he needed to do. He put the ball in the back of the net. He got the shot on target. That's why everyone always says just get the shot on target because you never know what's going to happen. Sometimes you can make goalkeeping mistakes. Sometimes it's just going to be a great shot, and that's up for debate on what people want to say with the quality of those 2 goals or not. I will say I do think he arguably could have gotten a red for that tackle. I don't remember specifically the player's name.
I'm one of those people. I know that was a red. I will say that. I think,
and it's one of those because again, it's consistency. It's the same. It's why I didn't like the shit I got called like on or the stuff I got labeled with my like rant about refs and oh you're American and all that sort of stuff because that's not like my point on that wasn't I think trying to understand refereeing from like an American point of view. It was just understanding that like obviously the common critique that we have for referees in America is that level of consistency. I watched a lot of baseball for any baseball fans. That's the number one thing you ask about because you have a strike zone that you have to watch every single inning 9 times in a game. The consistency of that, how that game is called, is so important. And like that's some of it what I think is the closest to refereeing because like a lot of other things with like NFL refereeing decisions, it's a lot more cut or dry in the sense I feel like it's like did they cross this goal plane? Did they catch it in enough time? Were there two hands on it? There's like a lot more of that stuff where like I don't know, you don't have any like the baseball with calling a strike zone and soccer with managing like a way. No refereeing has more control of like the way a game is played other than like a soccer referee. Hockey refs, while they call plays, now Sean Wallace is in the chat, so if he's still here, he could critique. Like they obviously call penalties, they can maybe control sort of maybe more the physical play of that game, but they don't even. Maybe hockey is sort of the comparison. Then I'm sort of talking myself into that even more than a football or a baseball. You need consistency. Like that's so important for this. And like we've seen that consistently been called at least a yellow, a red, with where the boot is up, with where the attack comes in and sort of where that's ignited and where that started, especially in relation to where like the ball's coming in or leaving and all that stuff. Like we've seen that be given as a red before. And there's always going to be a bit of that because with being Messi, if it was a Ronaldo, if it was a Declan Rice, if it was a Jude, if it was an Mbappe, if it was a Holland, I think these still conversations exist. It's one of those where there's always going to be that like, do they not want to give it because it's Messi? Do they not want to give it because of like who that person is or their
It's
hesitancy
hard
to go
because of
review
Messi.
that? And it sucks because I think that hurts it. But again, good result. That's taking away from the good result that Argentina had. I think I'm very confident on them to make at minimum a Finals 8 run, if not a semis, and possibly win this whole thing depending on the draw. I
Right.
think they showed why they're one of the top teams. It's just you get a sour taste in that match for me. I think leaving that game.
Right. No, definitely. I completely agree with you. I'm in agreement that it was a red card. But again, that doesn't take away because I've always said this. The way they play, the way they're unified, the way they've kept that core team, who they got at the helm, how Messi has mastered the art of load managing, just getting his body ready to go for just this tournament because he's done in Europe. What does he need to do in Europe?
What
What
did you do
changes
in
for him?
MLS?
Right. There's nothing for him to do in Europe. He already has like what 4 to 5 Champions League. He has like 7 Ballon d'Ors. He has the World Cup. The only thing he can do right now is maybe like come back to Barca, just help them win their UCL trophy that they've been really wanting to get, or just trying to get his body ready to go to win Argentina's 4th World Cup trophy and have that
Mm-hmm.
next generation set to go for Argentina to dominate and his nation to dominate for years to come. And
Yeah.
he's doing exactly what he needs to do, and I give him props for that. Like, absolutely mastered the art of that. But yeah, no, Argentina are definitely the top, and I think they have a good group as well in the sense that they're the favorites. Like, there's no other like Austria and Jordan. Like, I know they had a great game last night. I think it was like a good win for Austria, but they're just gonna dominate those teams. They're just too good. I mean, too many stars, too many world class players in there, and they're just gonna ease their way through that group. But then they'll be ready for that next round of 32, round of 16 matchup, round of quarterfinals, and then potentially semifinals is where a lot of people maybe have them falling short or losing, but who knows? Maybe with all that experience, they just make a final, and then who knows, bro? And then they win the thing. So, France, they look good. So they look good in that second
They look
half,
good. Yeah.
second half. But it's your boy Elise, man. I mean,
That
jeez.
assist, man. Just splitting, getting it through 3
I know
defenders.
I joked. I know I
Mbappe just
joked, but I know I joked about how like Florentino is probably looking and rubbing his hands because he's ready to make the deal. But I don't know, man. I think this time around, I don't. Either we're
and
gonna have
like
to wait for
Bayern's
him
not
to
a
be a free, but I don't think you guys are gonna. No way in
they
hell
don't sell.
Bayern's
We don't
selling him.
have to sell. Like that's the other thing people forget with that whole situation is like he's under contract. He clearly, I think, from what I've been able to tell, loves it there. Then unless there's that, like, yeah, I'm demanding to leave, bro. We don't need to sell him. We're not one of these clubs that needs to worry about making some huge
Right?
profit on a player based off
They're
of we
not
bought him. We're gonna stick a
exactly.
$500 million label on him, and we're gonna tell you,
Yeah,
you either give us the 500 million
it's gonna be
or you
hard,
don't,
bro.
and you walk
Yeah,
away. Like, sorry,
yeah, we're not. It's gonna be hard to get him, bro. That's all I'm saying. It's gonna be really hard. Even though Florentino wants it, maybe he will, but I don't think it'll be anytime soon. Maybe it'll be like in 3 to 4 years, like kind of like Mbappe, pretty much. But
Mhm.
no,
That's only
I'm
Tuchel.
rooting for our boys, me and my Mbappe and Elise. I hope they do well. They're gonna be the key for France. Is kind of like Kane and Jude is gonna be Mbappe and Elise. That's literally it because Elise
Mhm.
has just been absolutely amazing this World Cup. That first game he was absolutely amazing for France. He's been good too the playmaking, but then just more of that what he brings is just that calmness when he drops deep. His drop of the shoulder. I mean, I don't know who else does that at that height and that rate. I just don't see a lot of players doing that besides him. And then the bench that they have too, but it's just that midfield and that defense has been solid too. They just need to be a little bit more organized than what we saw against Senegal. But that was more in
Yeah.
this first half where they looked very sloppy, trying to find the rhythm. But once they got it, I think second game was it against Iraq. Again, good game to like recover and then get ready for that Norway matchup, which is going to probably decide either first or second place. So
Yeah.
we'll have to wait and see. But that'll be all that I got for the games and stuff. I know later today we have. I know right now, if I'm not mistaken, it's still 0-0 at halftime, between um Panama and um Ghana. So we'll have to wait and see with that. I need to watch that game just because I have not missed a game so far besides that Netherlands Japan game. But I will say
You
the
missed that
game
game?
was on the
Oh,
screen. No, but the game was on the screen, so I did
okay.
technically see like the first goal
Good.
and stuff. So
That
I,
was
I
my
saw.
game.
I
That's
need.
my game of the tournament still this so
I'm on
far.
the
Oh,
stretch right now where I need to watch every game. So far I've been good. I just need to tune into this Panama Ghana game.
the 2-2-2 games have been the two games of the tournament for me. That Japan Netherlands game, and then Iran New Zealand was a barn burner. That was a
Oh,
great
it
game.
was
If you
good too.
like,
I did catch that one.
I'm not gonna lie, like there hasn't been a game. I'm checking my list. I think there's only been there's only been a few games. No offense, Saudi Arabia, Uruguay, and then Qatar, Switzerland were the only two games that have been like, kind of a dud. Even that like Haiti 1-0, the Norway 4-1, Mexico. Like there hasn't been a lot of duds in this tournament so far. That's been helped by some of like these blowout teams avoiding the blowout and obviously getting good results. Like US is off to a good start for the tournament. 2026
Right.
is off to a good start. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, and I also build on to that you said USA had a good start. I completely agree with you, man. Dude, the energy. I mean, last week we were talking about Freddie. Dude, shout out to the Tartan armies. That's what they call them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, dude, they
Mm-hmm.
have been fucking making me laugh on social media, bro. I heard today like all the like you're hearing these news coverages from like Fox and CBS, like your local like city channels, talking about how like the beers are running out in Boston. The Tartan Army made themselves into New York as well. I don't know. You
Yeah, they're
saw
at the
that some
Yankees
of them were
game.
at Yankee Stadium. Shout
Yeah.
out to them, bro. That's right. Though don't bring those guys that were talking about the Boston Red Sox and they had the Red Sox. Fuck them. No, they're not allowed in Yankee Stadium. Kick their ass, Yankees fans. Then the
Mm-hmm.
Knicks as well. I
That's
mean, you
not
saw
happening
like
anymore.
shout out to the Knicks champs. I think the last time we talked about, I think they were gonna
Shout out to
close it
Kobe
out.
Gaines.
Yeah, Kobe Gaines. I know he was killing it out there with the celebrations and stuff. But I'm just talking about how like the Brazil fans and the Morocco fans were like united, even though Brazil drew. Like, and I was telling this to Cam Melendez. Shout out to Cam. I was like, dude, they're not ready to like, they're not ready for that shit. And then you just see them like joining in the fun, hopping in, and all this stuff. Oh man, dude, the fans have been. I mean, the Norway fans. You saw them in Boston. They're
Mm-hmm.
doing the Norwegian row and all this stuff. That had me laughing. The
I like all of
Austrian
them.
fans, even in San Fran, they were killing it too.
Yeah.
Like just making some cool banter.
Have you been
What
seeing all
else,
of them
man?
discovering tailgating for the first time? I saw a bunch of Norway fans discovering the concept of tailgating, and it's just very
Yeah.
funny to me because it's also one where like, what?
um,
Like I think it's the one thing soccer's missing. Like if you just added a little bit more tailgating to some of that, like I think you just kind of have
right,
the ultimate
dude.
sport
Oh my
experience.
god, this is hilarious. Yeah, the Argentinians as always showing out. In Kansas City, I just love. What I want to say is, and I love the fact that there's a lot of good people are embracing this new cultures
Mm-hmm.
that are coming into our cities, right? You're seeing the Boston people saying on social media, like, keep them. I want them to stay. Like, they're some dogs. Obviously, in that type of sense, like in like a derogatory way, like they're animals, like keep them there, like dehumanizing them in a way. I'm just saying it more in like a positive light, like, dude, these people are fucking awesome. Please stay in our country. You brighten and spicing things up, and that's what we needed as a country. Just spicing up
Mm-hmm.
just a little bit, man. So I'm very happy with this World Cup. You're seeing a lot of people enjoying them, embracing the cultures, and that's what it is. And like you said, man, the USA so far right now has taken a complete W. There still is some criticism that I have, obviously within our country, our government, but I'm just liking that at least what we the fans are doing. The
Mm-hmm.
fans, what we're doing is we're counting that with unity, embracing funny stuff, coming in together, embracing one. And this is what I was excited for since last summer when I saw the fans of teams come into our country and just bring the energy, man. So shout out to you guys. Um, I can't wait to be in Koreatown tomorrow to watch that Mexico and USA game. I literally live in Koreatown, so that park is going to be packed when I go out there. And obviously Friday USA game. We're just excited, man. Like I haven't been this
Basically, I mean,
excited
it's going to
for.
be for the group too. Basically, you
Oh my
assume.
god, yeah. Whoever if we win, then we get the group. I think that's it. We get the group. So no, good episode, man. Can't wait to see more videos. Can't wait to watch more World Cup games. Shout out to all my Colombian fans. Speed meme incorporated in there.
I love you, Luis
Can't wait
Diaz.
to see. Oh yeah, I forgot Luis Diaz is playing today, so you're probably excited for that one. I know James is playing too, but I'm just more talking about the fans, specific
Oh.
range of fans too. So can't wait to see that on the TV. How much you want to put on the? You should bet this right now. How many times do you think they're gonna show some Colombian women on our screens?
They haven't been doing that a lot on the broadcast. I've been kind of pleasantly surprised by Fox.
No,
There
they did
hasn't
it
been
for Cape Verde. They did it for Cape
They did it
Verde.
for Cape
Remember
Verde?
that?
I
They did
think
it
the
for
line's
Cape
got to
Verde.
be what? I'm gonna guess instances or number of women.
Instances like you know how like usually I do it like where they
3.5
pan
is
it
your
and they
line.
show it
Over under 3.5. That's yours.
over
That's your
under
just first
3 for
line.
that Colombian
Three and
game.
a half. Three
Gotcha,
and a half.
bro.
3.5.
3.5 under or over.
Under over. Yeah, you going under over 3.5. That's my line for you. 3.5.
Okay, got you. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm gonna go 3.5 too. So, no, I'm curious, man. I can't wait to see if you call it, bro. But it's been a good last few games. And no, just World Cup so far has been absolutely exciting, man. I won't say it's the best one ever just yet. I think we need to see more, especially if they have a badass final. But so far to kick this off, it's been
Oh,
amazing.
sorry.
Man.
One small thing there. I will say one thing. I am disappointed from seeing the games in MetLife. I'm disappointed that this final is not in Azteca. That's all I'll say. That's a
That's
little
fair.
disappointing. That
Yeah, that is fair. Yeah, I did
the
not like
vibe, like the aura, isn't there for MetLife. If that, like watching it, you don't feel. I don't know. It's okay. Small thing. Small thing.
No, it's a small thing, but I think the build up to it is gonna be good. Like,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? But
Yes.
we'll have to wait and see. But that will be all for today's, I guess, day 2 of our World Cup recap. Hopefully, we get to more out there, get some more stuff. But you've been listening to the Outlawn Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Jeffrey Canova, joined by Isaac Housen, and we can't wait to potentially see you this next Sunday. So, have a good rest of your night, boys. Thank you.